do you have a dragon spirit animal? And can dragons even actually be spirit animals? I'm going to answer those questions and more in today's video. But first, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Hannah, and I help people to own their powers and step into the driver's seat of their own lives. Today, we're going to be doing that by helping you to identify whether or not you are working with a dragon spirit and what even that means. So let's just dive right in, shall we? So first of all, what is a spirit animal? Basically, this is a special type of spirit guide that embodies archetypal animal energy. And this animal, this being, can help you to embody the qualities that they represent. They can help you kind of unearth those qualities within yourself and embrace them. They can also help you identify shadow qualities, weaknesses, and the like, and identify and heal through those. So I find that working with spirit animals can be a very fun and powerful way to completely transform my life and my spiritual growth. And if you'd like to learn more about figuring out what exactly your spirit animal might be, a good place to start would be this video that I'm going to link up here. I just did one on ways you can find out whether an animal is your spirit animal or not. But today we are talking about dragons. And I'm going to break it to you, my friend. I, at least, don't consider dragons to be spirit animals. Maybe you'll fight me on that. That's totally cool. Let me know in the comments. I love to hear dissenting opinions, but it is my personal belief that dragons are not spirit animals. They cannot be spirit animals. So I work a lot with dragons and dragon spirits, and the general vibe I get from that is they kind of like snicker. They think it's funny. They think it's cute that humans would consider them to be animals because they are very much not. Animals are they have like this earthy energy. They're very much linked to planet Earth. And so they're a lot more like grounded, and they're kind of like lower life forms. That doesn't mean they're lesser life forms, but they're lower. Whereas dragons are higher frequency beings. That's what I would call them. I know it's kind of a mouthful, but yeah, higher frequency beings, because they vibrate at a higher frequency, which is why they don't actually exist in our reality, in the 3D, because they vibrate so high you can't even see them in the 3D as you could an animal. So I hope that clears things up. Don't be calling dragons spirit animals unless you just don't want them to take you seriously at all. It's not necessarily gonna offend them, because I don't think they can really get offended by us. In general, dragons, they see us like children. So you can't really offend a dragon because they see you as a child. And the analogy I'm getting of is like this. If a kid came up to you and told you that you were a dog, would you take offense to that? I probably wouldn't. I would probably laugh and play along and think it's kind of funny and adorable, really. And I would pretend to be a dog, maybe even for that child. And so that's what the dragons are saying it's like for them. When humans are like, oh yeah, dragon's my spirit animal, so dragons are animals. They're like, hey, that's cute that you think that human. Sure, we'll be an animal for you, but we're not actually animals. Because dragons, though they can be linked to the earth and the elements, really they come from like the stars. They originate from like different galaxies and like planets and stuff, and they're very interdimensional. So they're not tied to this planet like our animals are. That being said, I still believe dragons, in a sense, they can still kind of be a spirit animal. They can be what I like to call, I think I just made this up, your higher spirit animal. Because I noticed a lot of people are working with dragon spirits or like unicorn spirits, griffins, phoenixes, the like mythical creatures, right? That aren't technically animals, that are higher frequency beings. So that's what kind of gave me the download for this term, higher spirit animal. It's like an animal, kind of. It's like a creature. It's a higher frequency being that kind of has the form of like a creature that we might associate with animal energy. And so if you want more clarification on that, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to talk about that more, maybe make a few videos on the concept. What I will say before moving on is that if you identify with any sort of like mythical creature, and you've always maybe felt that a mythical creature could be your spirit animal, then you are an old soul. That's a download I've gotten as well, is that like old souls tend to really resonate with these mythical creatures, with these higher spirit animals, and have these higher spirit animals working with them because they vibrate at a higher frequency. And old souls, generally, they've been on other planets and stuff where they're vibrating at that higher frequency as well. And they've been on planets where those beings actually do exist and can take physical form. So yeah, if you really resonate with not only dragons, but any sort of mythical creature, you, my friend, are an old soul. But this vid is about dragon spirit animals, right? So what are some kind of qualities, some themes with dragon spirit animals? One, if you feel that a dragon is your higher spirit animal, then the concepts, the themes, the vibrations of freedom and sovereignty are going to be very, very big in your life. They're going to be like main themes in your life. And if you look to even like the smallest little instances in your life, you're going to see how these themes, these patterns, they just keep playing over and over and over, and they keep recurring. And a lot of times this is going to manifest as you experiencing the opposite, the contrast. You'll feel very much like a victim, like you're a slave, like you're not free, like you're not sovereign, because this incarnation for you is learning freedom and sovereignty. And before you can really step into that, you have to experience the opposite. Two, if you've got a dragon higher spirit animal, you, my friend, are meant to help with the ascension process for humanity. Congratulations. You are a chosen one, if you want to call it that. You want to take that title. But yeah, this is a special type of light worker whose mission is really at its core to help humanity ascend. And this can, of course, manifest in a variety of specific ways, but that is at the heart of what your mission is. Three, so you are, in fact, a healer, and that ties in with the ascension as well, because your medicine, your healing will help raise the frequency of the planet, which helps with the ascension. However, caveat there, though you are a healer, you may not be a healer in the traditional sense. So the kind of healing that dragon people tend to do, it tends to be more shadow work oriented. This can look like triggering shadows in other people. So probably just with your presence alone, you might have the purest, nicest intentions, the clearest communication with people, and still you just keep triggering them. You just trigger people left and right. They're always like triggered. They don't, like, people have strong reactions, like where they just really don't like you, and maybe they can't even put their finger on why. And it is because you are triggering their shadow, kind of forcing them to do shadow work. And let's be honest, no one really like wants to do their shadow work. It's not always the funnest experience to have. It also means that you are a transmuter type of light worker. This means that just with your presence alone, you transmute lower frequency energy into higher frequency energy. Just with your presence alone, you're like a beacon. So you kind of you absorb low frequency energy, like dark energy, negative energy, if you want to call it that. And just being you, like, it just kind of transmutes. This can take a toll on you, however, as a transmuter. So that's something you want to learn how to work with. And again, I can make a video on this in the future. If it's a topic you'd like to learn more about, just let me know in the comments. So suffice to say, if you're working with dragon spirit energy, it's not typically going to be super light and love healing kind of about it. And even traditional healings, like I'll say like Reiki, like I don't really resonate with Reiki, even though I do energy healing for people and quantum healing for people. I like discovered in getting attuned to Reiki that I can't really do traditional Reiki for people. That's just not my bag. Like, it's really hard to put into words, but it's like the stuff you thought was like traditional healing, like Reiki, like being a doctor, stuff like that. A dragon person, that's not necessarily going to be their kind of healing. Their kind of healing might actually look like the opposite of healing, at least initially. So I hope that makes sense and that resonates. So finally, if you've got dragon, spirit, animal energy with you, you, my friend, have mad energetic protection. And if you don't feel like you do, you simply have to ask your dragon or dragons to provide that for you, and they will. They really, really respect free will. So if you're not consciously being like, yeah, I want this protection, then they'll just like leave you hanging. But if you set the intention, they will protect you. And trust me, friend, miraculous things happen when you experience this strong energetic protection that dragons give. I would say this is probably the number one quality that denotes dragon energy, as opposed to maybe other kinds of spirits that I have seen and work with. I can tell you from my personal life, I've had so many experiences where I've almost died, where people have literally tried to kill me, where I have been in like car accidents and stuff, like really bad, really dangerous situations, right? And I've come out completely unscathed. It has been so trippy, so miraculous every time. I'm like, of course there's mental scars, but physically I'm always fine. And I know now that that's a result of my strong dragon energy. They got my back and I trust it fully. I can go into any situation and be unscathed. That doesn't mean I go seeking those situations out, however, so don't get any ideas. Another example that really stands out for me is like, when I first started embracing my psychic gifts, I would kind of be almost jealous or envious of the psychics, particularly mediums, who just seem to like constantly like get these hits and these like such clear hits about like messages. They're like, oh, I have a message for that person. I have to give it to that person. I'm just thinking of like Long Island Medium or whatever, like where they just like, they're just in public and then they just get hit. They're like, I have to share this message or whatever. Or like, they're just like with a client and then like everything just comes out and they just channel it and they have to, and it like spews out. I was like envious of that. I kind of was like feeling self-conscious about my own gifts because I'm like, that doesn't happen for me. I was like, whenever I channel, it has to be very conscious. I have to take time and be like, okay, I'm connecting in with this person now and I want to receive these things. They have these questions that I would like to get answered. Usually I don't just get like random hits all throughout the day that I need to share with people, or even when I'm in a reading with people, do I feel like bombarded with stuff that I have to share. What the dragons told me is this is also that draconic energy protection happening. The boundaries with dragons, they're so strong. It's like no random stuff can really get into my energy field. I have to choose to pursue it before I will receive anything. The dragons will simply just not let any of that get to me, which is kind of awesome actually, and I'm super grateful for. So now that I know that, I totally embrace that, and I hope if you relate to that too, that you can now embrace it instead of feeling like you are less or like not as good of a psychic or something like that. So there you have it, friends. That's all I really have to say about dragon spirit animals today. As always, if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. And if this is a new concept to you, or you're just hoping to learn more about dragons, check out my playlist on dragons, because I have so many videos on how to work with them. And they would love it, I'm sure. If you're a dragon spirit animal person, your dragon or dragons would love you forever if you would learn more about how to consciously work with them. So many miracles are possible when you're consciously working with your dragons. So as usual, friends, if this video was helpful for you in any way, please give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell to be updated when I post on my super erratic schedule. And know that me and the dragons will love and appreciate you forever for doing this, because it helps get this message out. And honestly, it helps the ascension. It's like dominoes. We help other people out by sharing this information. So we super appreciate it. And as always, friends, much love to you. Stay powerful.